Full and Bloom News Brief. More info at fullandbloom.com. During a brand new interview with Mixtapes Podcast, legendary guitar builder Grover Jackson looks back on his once broke, dead-end beginnings and how they led him straight into the heart of rock history. A link to the entire interview can be found below. On Sharon Osbourne, Jackson said, "Sharon is a woman in a male-dominated industry, and she's a survivor. She's a person not to be trifled with, and I appreciate the fact that she's had this incredible career and strength. In an industry where relationships don't last, she and Ozzy were married for what, 40 years or something? That's a hell of an accomplishment. Intelligence, grit, God bless her. I think the fact that Ozzy was successful, obviously yes, finding Randy Rhoads is like lightning in a bottle. Sharon drove that train, and Ozzy did need Randy. He did need Bob Daisley and Lee Kerslake at the beginning. He definitely needed Zach when they found Zach. I'm a huge Jakey Lee fan. I'm a big fan of that era, and I think Jake kept Ozzy moving. And just as sort of a footnote to that, we went around and saw a couple of those dress rehearsals around Christmas of that year. The one uncomfortable moment, my wife Joanne and Mike Eldred, who was my first employee, and he went on to run the Fender Custom Shop, were at a dress rehearsal for Ozzy's Diary of a Madman tour. We were standing there talking after the dress rehearsal, and Jake Duncan, who I think is the only witness of the crash that has never spoken about it, and who was a consummate professional, walked up as we were standing there to give Randy his stage and luggage passes and stuff. And the moment got a little heated. Randy wanted to know when he was going to get paid, and it was uncomfortable to stand there and listen to this because it happened right in front of us. I carried that memory with me for years, and then I realized the stress that Sharon had been under. She had bet the farm. If that tour didn't go well, she was fucked. And I've been in that position in business where the walls start to close in on you, and you get tense, and maybe not your best characteristics come out. And I think that window right there, when they were getting ready to do that big tour that he passed away on, I think she had bet the farm. It was a big production with the castle and all of that crap, but she was leveraged out of the yin-yang, man. On Jakey Lee, Jackson said, "Jakey Lee is a great guy. I haven't seen him in years and years. He had a very odd personality habit where he wouldn't look at you. He would look over to the side and catch you in his peripheral vision. And I think you have to go back to that relationship between Ozzy. Again, this is just my experience. Most bands, most groups of people, when they aggregate, will pick one person to be sort of the punching bag of the group, the pressure escape valve, the target of the jokes. Sometimes it's a roadie and sometimes it's a band member, but somebody is always, that guy. Well, that was Ozzy and Black Sabbath. Nobody wants to talk about that, but I was around that enough. I don't think he was treated very well in Black Sabbath. So then now he's out, he's had substance abuse problems, he's becoming the Prince of Darkness, and Randy, being the gentleman that he was, treated Ozzy with respect. From my point of view, that is what created this bond between Ozzy and Randy. That Randy treated him like a full friend. Randy is now passed. Bernie Torme came in and played a few dates, and then Brad Gillis finished the tour, and they hired Jake. And Jake has this habit where he won't look at Ozzy. Ozzy says something, Jake hears him, Jake will respond, but he won't look at him. I remember that was weird. I went to the first dates they played. I think the first date was the S Festival. I went in with them. Sharon had called me and said, "Can you try to get Jake to be a little bit more responsive and interactive with Ozzy?" More news at fullandbloom.com.